emotional decision.
The William and Roger DeCarbo Funeral Home, family owned and operated since 1941.
Sponsorship for this program provided by the Ed and Dawn DeCarbo Funeral Home and Crematory Incorporated, with 2 locations, 941 South Mill Street, Newcastle, and 3000 Wilmington Road, Neshannock Township.
Good morning. This is MATIN's Worship at Christ Lutheran Church. We're at 1302 East Washington Street. This is our 8 a.m. MATIN's Worship, and everyone is invited. This time of year, folks look to go to church early, have the rest of the Sunday off, go to the beach, go to the mountains, whatever, and have a long Sunday and still be in the presence of the Lord, be in worship to the Lord. And that's what's important. This is genuine classical Christian worship. This is real. This is not, dancing around and making silly. You get people who, I don't let people, I very much discourage eulogies at funerals unless, I'm really sure. I've had a couple of times where it was not good. And not many, but a couple. And, when you get people who that's what they're about, dancing around and just saying every good little thing about God and Jesus, they haven't read the Bible. People say things and I'm looking at like, have you read the Bible? Do you know what you're talking about? And, they're going to have to stand in front of the Lord and justify all this really nonsense. And by the same token, people who aren't going to be discerning, who are in Christ, but just do not discern realism from, fake, just being people pleasers, basically. I want you to like me. I want everything to be good. That's not the way it is. And a big part of worship is building you in your growth and maturity. And I know I've said this many times, but boy, I'll tell you what, I'm certainly a living example, I think. My wife at the time, my late wife, 7 years ago, had a stroke. And she was pretty much invalid for that period. And I had to take care of her. And it was a grueling time. It was a very difficult time. And she died over 2 years ago now. And that was just grueling. Just getting, what it is that you're dealing with the loss of a spouse. We'd been married 44 years, and it was just brutal. And then really only a few months later, maybe a year later, I'm diagnosed with colon cancer and liver cancer. And I will be out for the next couple of weeks. There won't be any MATIN's worship because I'm having surgery on Wednesday, hopefully the last one. But it's been grueling. It's been really, really difficult. I've since gotten engaged, and my fiance is just amazing. She's a gift of God. If anybody does not believe in God or miracles or angels, well, let me tell you, she was sent from God, and she's just in herself, just an incredibly gifted, beautiful, wonderful woman. And I'm so blessed for her to be here. So, you know, a lot of what I went through, I've been a pastor. I'll be a pastor for 16 years in July. So I've had that to build me. And previous to that, I've had really good church families that have guided me and built me up, have enabled me to be strong enough to deal with these things in faith in Christ. Now, if you don't have that grounding, and when, not if, when something happens that's going to be very challenging, a serious trial, what are the chances that you're probably going to say, oh, well, this Jesus thing doesn't work. I'm not going to church anymore. You're not saved. Okay, well, I'm a good person. I mean, no, you're not saved. If you are not in Christ, if you are not in his church, you are not saved. Period. End of discussion. Okay? So if you want to keep living in this little delusional world or listening to people who just don't know what they're talking about, basically somebody you watch on television for a few minutes, you send them a few bucks, and well, I'm covered, I'm good. No, you're not. You know, and believe me, anytime you want to sit down and talk about it, I'll be more than happy to talk about it. But being a part of a good church and being part of Christ, being in him and saved in him, baptized in him, confirmed in him. Well, you don't need those things. The disciples weren't. Yeah, they were. They most certainly were. Give me a break. If you confirmed, absolutely. They were in the confirmation class of Jesus. And believe me, they got the deluxe package, no question about it. But you have to, because you have to understand your church. You have to understand why you're there. And that's the big problem, because you get too many people who try to play themselves off as church pastors, and they're not. They have no education. They have no experience. They have nothing. And they, well, I know Jesus. No, you don't. You really don't. And, you quiz them just a little, and they'll memorize certain verses, and that's supposed to make them a superstar. And, it's always the verses that confirm their very narrow little world. And they're the ones that are going to lead you off they're going to lead you into hell. Because it is up to you to be discerning, to really pray over it, to really understand what Jesus is about and who he is.